fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more.
Hello there, I can't get no satisfaction. With me are Dominic down there.
Hello.
Ah, there we go. And sort of across on the bottom there is Brian.
Hi. How's it going?
And up from him, but to that way of me, is Eddie.
Hello.
At some stage, if paid enough money, we will indeed sing the theme tune to the Brady Bunch.
We need 2 more people.
And somebody that can sing.
Ooh, you make a good job. Dominic, can you sing?
Well, I did a performing arts BTEC, if that counts.
There we go. We're sorted.
Okay,
There you
right,
go.
fine, good. We have talent.
We have the talent.
Suck the talent out of the child at once.
Oh, no.
Leave him cynical and bitter.
The rest of us are under UN order not to sing for summoning great old ones. You missed the musical interludes we used to do.
It's the only,
We sincerely apologise.
yeah, it's the only thing the UN's ever agreed on.
Oh.
It was
Well,
it
that's
was so
unfortunate.
sad. Anyway, guys, I'll start with Eddie. How's your week been, Eddie?
It's been okay. It was a week off work. We kind of caught up on a lot of good television over the last week. We're watching the tail end of Castle Rock Season 1, which is just confusing me. I don't understand it at all. But Angela will explain it to me once it's finished.
Good.
But no, it's been good.
Right, you and Bearded Wonder.
Oh,
We've got 2 now.
we have 2. Yes.
No, I think Dominic's clean shaven at the moment.
Well, I've got a little stubble coming on. I'll see if I can briefly come on video, just so you can... if it'll work. Hiya.
There we go.
There we go.
we
You
go.
see, righty ho.
There you go.
Okay, Brian.
Me?
Yes.
Oh.
You're weak. Remember?
No, I'm just getting too old.
He's strong. Brian's not weak. He's
Oh.
strong. He's Syracuse strong.
Weakling scum.
Been a good week. Little work, little play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
been a good week. That's nice to hear. Dominic,
nothing really notable.
has your week been good?
It's been all right. Just getting by, getting through the perils that society throws at you on a daily basis. But other than that, okay.
Did you ever manage to find out the answer to the chase I asked about the music?
I've completely forgotten the question.
Basically, the arpeggio section, Murray Gold's version of the Doctor Who theme, the
Oh, yes.
was
Now
known
I
as the
remember.
chase. Hello, Brig Lover. Good evening. 4 a.m. You watch. 4 a.m. You see. Right. Okay. So we've had a week. Not much ever really. I got new glasses.
Hooray!
I got the 380.
How's your eyes?
Unfortunately, I've been a week without medication because East Surrey Hospital fucked it up. But I think I got it was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. They sting, these drops. So now I'll have to wait and see.
they're working.
Yes,
Yeah, no
apparently.
pain, no gain.
Again, there's that evolutionary thing. Hey, should we do talking about a thing?
Yes, let's do that.
Let's
What we're
do
here for.
talking about a thing. Ladies and gentlemen, now from the world of BBC Television's Doctor Who, it's Doctor Who! I don't care. I love that piece of music. End of. All right? Okay. We sorted. Good.
No arguments here.
Right. Good. Good.
Wait,
I've
was
no
it
idea
our-
who I'm talking to. Hello, Radox the Green. I used to
I
love
wonder
green.
what this-
Green Radox was my favourite. It was the pine fresh Radox you'd have. And I would always use far too much.
never enough bubble.
We'll never have enough.
It was
time.
never really bubbly, Radox, to be fair. But it was very, very green.
Knows what he's talking about.
I miss Radox. Didn't think we'd be going down this route this evening. I'm going to be honest. Anyway.
Oh,
Well, we can always move over to the burger incident.
The
The burger.
couldn't he have
with-
gone before we left?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm intrigued
Things
now.
happen.
I'm intrigued.
He's got
What's he up to?
Radox.
Radox men. No, that's not. No, it's Radox
Radox.
powders. They were in a cardboard box. Pine powders, you see. We're talking 70s here.
You can't drink powders. This. Sorry, I'm saying too much. Lockdown, alcohol ban. It was a bad time. I hit a rock bottom.
But you had very nice smelling breath.
I did.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the second canine's on holiday. Unfortunately, the second Romana Dratlunda is with him and is pestering him about other holiday resorts. They're in Brighton, and Doctor Who's fast asleep. We shall come to that in a moment. Then, as if by magic, the very first use of Quantel in Doctor Who. And we switch suddenly to Argolis, which is a radioactive hellscape except for the hive, a leisure hive. Basically, people go there to enjoy themselves and have fun, but at the same time to learn, because the race, the Argolin, who built the place, they're dying out. They had quite a long war, 20-minute war with the Fomazi from another planet, and it's left them sterile and they're dying out completely. Into this arrives Doctor Who and other people. And that's where things start to go wrong around the hive. So, which one of you would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Righty ho, love.
I've enjoyed watching and rewatching The Leisure Hive for quite some time, because I believe it's one of the most underrated stories of Tom's era. I love how, I mean, it may not have been the ideal way to bring in the new regime, so to speak, but I admire what they were trying to go for, because already you started feeling that hard science edge with tachyonics and everything that Bidme basically put his hand on. And I'd say that I like the aesthetics. The story, perhaps not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, because there's still quite a few times where I can watch the whole thing the whole way through and still not know what the hell is going on. And I generally just...
Ask Auntie.
Huh?
Ask Auntie, she'll tell you.
Ah, yes. I mean, generally, it's just around the middle. You're just kind of like, okay, so what happened while he was in the? Oh wow, got old. So yeah, I really enjoyed watching the story. I found the characters, especially the what's his name, Pangol? Is it Pangol? Yeah, he was basically like the
David Haig.
Doctor Who equivalent. Yes. Very good performance, very reminiscent of Starscream before Starscream was even a thing. I really just thought, to be honest, the story is just highly enjoyable, even if it's not necessarily the best regarded. But for some reason, I just have a good time watching it. It's just, and the banter between Tom and Lala, who are basically, before they start getting gradually more irritated with each other as season 18 progresses, it's nice to watch. This is basically, like, I would say, the last hurrah. This is the last story with a season 17 feel to it. Of that sort of
I'd
fun
possibly
edge.
say Meglos was, if I'm honest.
True. With the cactus. Good point there, yeah.
And
yeah.
the Gaztecs, and yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll be looking at Meglos in a month's time.
Oh, yeah, that's me done.
Okay. The thing is, though, you're giving it the highest compliment by saying, I just love to watch it. I really enjoy it.
Just a lot of fun.
That's all something needs to be. That's what it's made for. Brian?
I really liked it too. I did. There was a different take on it I got from it though. I agree that it was a high science episode, but I like the fact that it was Romana doing the high science and not the doctor. She was fixing everything. She was putting it all together. She was building their tachyon chamber and everything. And I just thought for being a kid at the time, you know, if a little girl was watching that, hey, she's doing science. You know, Romana's doing all this, can't I? Sure, the doctor's out running around, you know, he's getting turned into an old geezer. He's fighting the monsters, but Romana's doing all the tech work.
I'm told Tom didn't enjoy that.
Romana's a fantastic role model, I just gotta say.
I love Romana.
One day she will be mine. One day.
Which one?
Well, for a start, only Lalla Ward's alive. Unless, of course, you count Juliet Landru. But, yeah. You've gone Network Error 2000. What?
What?
Quick to the bat
I
twitch.
can still see us.
It's still running on mine.
On mine.
Come on, you can do this. You can do this. I've got to get a new computer at some stage.
Don't you die on us.
Right, it's catching up. Yeah, no, we still seem to be there.
No, I'm still here.
Yeah,
I can
okay.
still see us.
Right, okay, Network Error 2000. Refresh the page. I don't know what Network Error 2000 is. Eddie, your thoughts, love. Please share them among us.
I've got my thinking hat on.
Ooh.
I really liked this too. I'm not going to be a contrarian. I quite liked it. Sorry, I'm going back to Friday night. Brighton obviously disagrees with K9, and I felt sorry for K9. They couldn't get rid of... Was this just an episode where it was right, where K9 would have probably solved the whole thing in about 5 minutes? Want about... So it was like to take K9 away for this so that there was an element of danger there? Or I don't know. I miss K9. I told you my history. Yeah. K9 was my safety blanket. So K9 not being there.
According to Chris Bidley, he was a magical device.
He was great.
As was the sonic screwdriver. It was a magical device. It wasn't back then. Nowadays, of course, is he busy? Let's get busy.
Yeah.
So,
this doesn't work
2 hours. Two hours before the Leisure Hive aired, back in 1980, I put on my copy of Doctor Who and the Genesis of the Daleks, the LP. 1 hour before it aired, I put on my copy of BBC Space Themes, which the second side ended with the Doctor Who theme. Turned around to the telly, on it came, and my mind hit the roof and the floor, and what the hell's this? What is this? The music? You know, it's changed. It's completely changed. Remember, we had 7 years of the same 6 years of the same title sequence of music. Well, the music even goes back to Pertwee. So that was a whoa. And then, of course, it's not Dudley Simpson. This music is this music is quite beautiful, and this feels like care has been lavished on it, and I absolutely loved this when it was broadcast. It was just this blast of fresh air. Now we got to remember, I watched it in black and white, not in colour. So I didn't really see Tom's new costume till DWM put it on the covers at one point. But I've always got a soft spot for the Leisure Hive, and to be fair, as regular long-term viewers and listeners of The Blade will know, season 18 is probably my favourite-ish, if I'm honest with you, even though I can see straight through its faults. I really can. It does have problems, but I think... Was it Clayton Hickman or was it Gary Gillett? Again, in an op-ed piece for DWM talking about it. Some of us were just at that age where this change from Series 17 to the different styling of Series 18, we'd hit the age where we would really appreciate that. We'd hit the, okay, I'm a serious Doctor Who fan stage. Because when you're a teenager or just about to get that, everything is really serious and you have to take it, completely seriously. And no, it's the Doctor, it's not Doctor Who. And do you see my thing? So yeah, it's stuck. Basically, it's stuck in my mind. It was also the first season I began audio recording them, which I think was part 4 of Warrior's Gate. And then, of course, Keeper of Traken, and then the Costalogopolis. Oh God, that tape get played over and over and over and over again. And that's how Paddy Kingston's music got stuck in there. So yeah. I've got nothing bad to say about the Leisure Hive. Lalla Ward does. She doesn't like that opening pan. She thinks it's ridiculous. I think if it's somebody trying to sort of make a difference, it's the opening scene of the season. You can afford that.
I had a few questions, particularly for yourself, Siobhan. So you like this, right? Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you, I couldn't remember it. I came in and it was like, I'm sure I must have watched it, and I've probably seen it a few times, but it's just never stuck with me. Put that down to old age. But do you think that the John Nathan Turner was actually a force for good then, in terms of bringing in a more serious and restrained performance for Tom?
Yes.
And that's basically what we're seeing here?
Yes.
I know there's a lot of negativity and controversy surrounding Nathan Turner, but did he actually do a good thing with Tom for his final season?
I think so very much. And I'll prove my point next week. Because you know what we're doing next week? We're doing the Horns of Nimon, boys. Which is the show immediately preceding The Leisure Hive, the last one from Series 17, last broadcast one from Series 17. So you'll be able to see the change in styles. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yes, to Tom being completely restrained in Season 18 did his performance wonders, surprisingly enough. Because I love the Season 18 version of the Fourth Doctor, because he has that sort of weariness about him. He's a bit more tired. He's still got those whimsy natures, but he's just that bit more like
worn
ready
down.
to take. Yeah, it's just you can take this guy seriously. In Season 17, it's clearly Tom Baker fully in control of the cast and the crew and the whole damn production, and it's literally just going to town. He is Tom Baker.
It's the Tom Baker comedy a half hour.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas in Season 18, it's pure Doctor Who again, and he is playing Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. Not
but
Tom
of course,
Baker.
we have to adore that costume. And yes, I've cosplayed it many times.
It.
Both of us.
He hated it, didn't he? He hated
well,
the
Leisure
lapels, he
Hive
hated the question marks.
is the only time you see the full costume, as it should be. Because apart from the coat, you also had a jacket underneath, which he got rid of straight away. And
he had socks as well.
Yeah, socks and shoes, which he changed for State of Decay, I think.
Yeah, for his Season 17 boots.
Yeah, but the Season 17 boots. The hat only gets seen in the Leisure Hive, which is a shame, because I think that costume really works well for him.
Hey,
you know?
It honestly does.
And even the question marks, they're very subtle on that shirt. And I think it works.
Love the shirt. It's less egregious than it got near the end of the tenure of John Nathan Turner, but the way how subtle they are, and they're not full on red, they're like a golden colour.
Yes.
It just works so much more than the complete red on the collar top versions. it just looks nice. It just looks better, and you can still take it seriously.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is eccentric. It's not clown.
Yeah. Now, since Davison came along, it's painted in embroidered in bright red. That's a case of, no, you've gone a bit silly now.
Brian also made the point about, so Romana is kind of front and centre, she's kind of separated from the Doctor. How much was that, though, the start of the deterioration between the relationship between Lalla and Tom backstage, that they were actually spending all this time at the screen separately? Because I actually missed that. I like Romana and Tom to be together like previous episodes. This was the start of them being kind of kept separate.
Let me look this up.
And I also wonder if young George Lucas saw this episode as well. Clone Troopers? Anyone?
I don't know what you mean. I mean, obviously, stormtroopers and people in helmets multiplying rapidly.
Yeah.
I mean, he already had the idea of the Clone Wars themselves in 1977.
So he says.
So he said. Well, it's a line of dialogue in the original movie. But, like, when it comes to
but nobody knew what
details,
the Clone Wars were.
True.
They never elaborated.
Filling out the details, he could have taken a few cues from the Leisure Hive.
Yeah, it could have been something totally different from what we got. Instead, it could have been, fighting against clones or whatever, fighting over cloning technology. Get a ready-made army.
Here we go then. So the Leisure Hive was the first one produced. State of Decay was the second one produced, where their relationship was at rock bottom. It really was.
Well, they don't even see eye to eye in that story, do they?
Then you had Megalos, Full Circle, and the rest of it is Broadcast Order, Warrior's Gate, Keeper of Traken, and Logopolis. So I have no idea what that says. But there we go. At least we know.
I just like the backstage gossip.
Ah, dear. Matthew Warthouse's memoir is interesting about that. Blue Box Boy. It's written in the third person. Was it? Yeah. A bit odd, but there we go. But it's... You got to feel sorry for the poor boy. Because he walked in, his first one was State of Decay, and Tom and Lalla weren't talking to each other.
Rock bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
He had a rough time with
I think
Tom,
he did.
didn't he?
And the thing is, I think Adric works really well with the Fourth Doctor.
Yeah.
With the
I
Fourth
prefer him
Doctor as a teacher. It really does work. Anyway, we've got to move on because we were talking about costumes here. And Dominic
Oh, boy.
made a tweet. And on his tweet, he basically professed love for the Sixth Doctor's costume. And
Loud and proud.
yeah, exactly. And basically, fight me. That was the thing we got. I happened to mention this to Brian, and as a result of me mentioning this and then turning around and telling him, he decided he was going to.
You did?
You did. You did. He was going to query this. We have a debate then. The Sixth Doctor's costume, good or bad? Who wants to go first? Dominic, I think you should. Actually, as you're the one that kicked this off. Why is it so
accident. Well, I just... Honestly, I feel it is like one of the most creative Doctor costumes due to the use of the patterning and how the code is actually formulated. Because, as I said to someone else, there is absolutely no way that you could look at this thing and conceptualize it easily. Some mad costume designers actually conceptualize this, and it's with the rest of the Doctor costumes, you can kind of see where they're coming from. You probably, if you were left in a room for a few hours, you could probably come up with a good few of them yourself. No one in their right, sane mind could ever conceive of the Sixth Doctor's costume. And somehow someone did, and that deserves kudos in itself. I really just love the mixture of the colours. They are all just so in your face, because that's the sort of person the Sixth Doctor is. He is an in-your-face, brash guy, and he will just throw himself at the wind and you just have to accept it. And the costume reflects that rather perfectly, in my humble opinion. I just feel like the combination as well of the waistcoats and the cravats and everything, it is in some ways tasteless, absolutely tasteless, in terms of Earth fashion, but in terms of alien fashion, it could be absolutely high fashion on a certain planet or so. There's no restrictions here. But generally, I just find the look to be.
No, it wasn't. I'm
Shush.
sorry. Radox the Green has just commented. I'm just saying, no, it wasn't.
That would explain a lot.
Keep going,
Yeah,
Dom.
I was gonna say, yeah. So, in all honesty, yeah, I admire the costume. I mean, I feel like a lot of people just say it's terrible, it's crass, it's too much, but I don't know. I feel I would prefer this to the more restrained outfits, like say McGann's in respect, because McGann's was very Edwardian, very stereotypical what we come to expect of Doctor Who. But in terms of that whole waistcoat, shirt, frock coat archetype, Collins is the one that's the most eye-catching, because you come off the back of Davison, who was dressed mostly in beige, and then you go forward to McCoy, who again is in beige with question marks. I just find that is just the most fascinating, and I honestly think that the Bakers, both Tom and Colin, are the after Pertwee the best dress of the classic era.
Interesting. Couple of little footnotes here. The costume designer kept getting sent back to have another go by John Nathan Turner, because they couldn't come up with anything tasteless enough for him.
So literally drove him insane. That makes sense.
Also, I'll give Brian his moment now. I got a couple of things to say, but I'm sure Eddie has as well. So go for it, Brian.
Well, a while ago when we were first discussing the Sixth Doctor, I stated that it appeared that the network, through the scripts and everything, was trying to actively sabotage Colin Baker's show. This costume goes further into that theory. He looks like a clown. He looks like he was done by Ronald Dahl on acid. He should be on a candy bar right now with a large top hat and several small orange people around him. The blending of the fabrics, no, it makes no sense. Yes, exactly. Willy Wonka. He looks like Willy Wonka, and if they took that as inspiration, they were sorely mistaken.
Stand upright, Willy Wonka.
The fact that they blended the fabrics, you have the tweed, you have cotton, wool, various other fabrics in the one costume, it had to be incredibly uncomfortable for Colin.
Very true.
I mean, throw on the waistcoat and this and the cravat, the poor man had to be sweating like crazy every take.
The waistcoat had a tail to it.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Now, I don't care about the waistcoat. Waistcoats come and go. You know, you can wear a waistcoat, you can wear a cravat. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's the color choice. They don't complement each other. They don't look good together at all, even on camera. Like I said, it looks like a costume a clown would wear. And if they're trying to sabotage their own show, this does a great job of not taking the show seriously.
Eddie, where do you fall on this?
I think you have to go back to the man himself. So is Colin Baker not kind of on the record for saying that he didn't like it either?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, and I think what Brian has mentioned kind of touches the nail on the head. It does come across of Nathan Turner was by this point, I think, trying to get out of his contract. Michael Gray was trying to kill the series off because he didn't take it seriously. He didn't like sci-fi. So it does come across as a kind of element of sabotage. I'm colourblind, So colours really are not my thing, but it is. It's too busy. It's too busy a costume. But sitting on the fence type here, it does reflect the Sixth Doctor's personality. As Dominic put it, the Sixth Doctor is brash. He's in your face. He doesn't care what anybody thinks, or says that he doesn't care what anybody thinks. You either love him or hate him, and you can't argue that his costume reflects it. Me personally, though, I think that the costume itself just reflected the element that it was. This is how we were addressing Doctor Who. This is how seriously we take it. And again, it wasn't practical. It wasn't particularly stylish, and I think they could have done so much better. Interesting about the poor designer was sent away and told to make it worse,
make it
more hideous.
Yeah, that says quite a lot. What I will say, and it's defence though, Dominic rocks it. So if anybody wants to go to Dominic's Twitter account and have a look at somebody who can absolutely rock
his
Sixth
YouTube
Doctor's
account.
costume,
Who then
it
Chaser?
can be done.
Because
It
there's
can
some
be done.
excellent
Chaser.
cosplay tips on there. Sorry, say again.
Just Who Chaser now.
Oh, just
Don't
Who
go by
Chaser.
that
There we
name.
go.
Don't go
yes,
by that name.
lots of excellent cosplay advice on there.
Thank you.
Brie Glover's basically said someone had been smoking some hot shit when they designed that. Sean is quite right by saying he wanted something similar to what Eccleston got. The thing about Colin's costume is it is very much in context of its time. Mid-80s, the light entertainment high, you could say. When the light entertainment with shows were really kicking off well. There are a load of comedy shows. There are a load of shows which featured bands, this, that, and the other. And this thing is just an example of the 80s. It is very much of its time. I don't like the blue variant because I think the coat itself is just cut completely wrong. No, I don't like the blue variant either. But it is of its time. I think, if I'm honest with you, the one person we do have to thank and thank here is John Ridgway, the artist for DWM during that period, who had to draw that bloody thing month in, month out. The amount of effort that man must have put in. Because remember, he did the artwork for Voyager, which is one of the greatest DWM strips ever. Absolutely amazing art. But we're not going to come to an answer here. The Sixth Doctor's coat is like anything else, entirely down to you. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
But I seem firmly in the minority of liking it.
It's all right. I have to admit, I've been tempted to try and get hold of it and wear it in town.
I would happily. I have one. I would happily wear that. Actually, I have. So.
Dominic, did you make that yourself?
No, I didn't make it myself. It was a fortunate find on eBay. It was going quite cheap, so I was like, okay. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'll spend money on this. It's less than I will have to if I don't buy it now. But
Nick Lover makes a good point, though.
That is
when you
an
see it,
excellent point.
you don't forget it. And
That's
six-
true.
As hard as you
Six is
try,
an
you
unforgettable
cannot
Doctor.
forget it.
The question is, as Brian's basically saying here, is I don't think it helped
It didn't
the
help. It
public's
demeans their own
appreciation of Doctor Who. It almost... I mean, French Saunders did a sketch, which wasn't broadcast, but it is out there, which is essentially a Mickey take of the trial of a Time Lord. But it is also what any member of the public thinks Doctor Who would be. And the Sixth Doctor was very much a victim of his time.
What I want to say as well is that it is a massive juxtaposition between the content of his stories. Because whilst it didn't help the public perception. I mean, I'm looking at the code from a creative perspective. I just like looking at it, and I like creatives. But in terms of the overall reception, yeah, you guys are right. It no doubt did not help whatsoever. But the thing is, as well, the show was at its, like, I would say, some of the darkest it had ever gone to, some of the darkest depths. And the Sixth Doctor was involved in some of the most, like, gut-wrenching stories, like Revelation and Vengeance, which both had some really weird handlings of death.
I still say that Eric Sayward doesn't understand Doctor Who. He understands action and adventure. He doesn't understand Doctor Who.
It's curious because it did make the show a bit confused. Because you have a guy dressed very clownish in all the colours, but you also have corpses being turned into Daleks. You have cannibalism. You have people being thrown into acid baths. Yeah, Mary Whitehouse's worst nightmare.
Was Michael Grade correct to put it on high 8? Well, they tried to cancel it. They did try to cancel it, but...
Oh, God, then we ended with that song.
Doctor in Distress.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, we're not going there. We've subjected that Brian to that before. Don't worry, it's fine.
My grip on sanity is tenuous at
However, Dominic,
You can
at
push
some
it
stage,
more over.
I'm going to ask you to learn and rehearse for our Christmas episode the Ballad of the Last Chance Saloon, so you can sing it to Eddie.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. He did not take that one.
Don't worry, we'll be sending it in England care to Eddie, and along with a pineapple pizza to Siobhan.
Yes, to send a care package.
Oh, dear. I wonder how long he's going to make us wait.
Oh,
I mean,
dear.
to be fair, he normally has problems with this connection.
I think that was deliberate.
Oh, I think so
yeah, I
too,
think
very
that's
much so.
deliberate.
So
Big
we're
Mama
now
says-
interviewing for a fourth person on
Maybe that was the point. He looked sweet and innocent in his bright clothes and floppy jacket, and it was more surprising and disturbing when it went dark, making for a better TV. Oh, it's a view. Finished with our strop, have we?
I just finished.
Have you finished with your strop?
Yes.
You
Don't
sure?
worry, we're going to be sending Siobhan a pineapple pizza.
Angela got me by the ears and said, "Get back in that room."
Good.
So, yeah, I'll be told off.
Right, yeah,
Amazing.
that was actually longer than I thought it would be. And it didn't spin off onto other things, which I thought it might do.
On topic. Amazing.
Yeah, it was on topic, and we managed to...
I had a little practice with debating lately.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was completely unprepared. Sorry, guys.
That's I let him know about, I don't know, an hour before the show.
So what you're saying, Brian, is that the Sixth Doctor's costume came from China. China were responsible for the
China.
Sixth. Yes.
Actually, most of them do nowadays.
Yeah.
Right. We didn't just do all this and that and whatever else. We also did watching of television. And we watched episode 5 of Life on Mars, otherwise known as Gene Hunt, the pub landlord. There's
Behaving badly.
been a murder.
Murder.
And it's just outside Trafford Park, which, for those who don't know, Manchester has two main football teams. Manchester United, which is at Trafford, and Manchester City, that isn't. And that's all I know about football. And this guy is obviously a Manchester United supporter, and there's a big local derby coming up. The two teams are going to be kickballing together against each other. And so to try and stop a huge fight breaking out, they've got to catch the murderer. It does go in a very odd direction. I'm going to be honest with you. Sam, as usual, batting heads with Gene. Gene is slowly respecting his viewpoints more, to be fair. And as soon as he learns that Sam wants to go undercover as pub staff, suddenly he's on Sam's side.
Wonder why.
This is a good one. It's got a strong message at the end. Yeah, dreadful incident. And Hillsborough.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we had an incident over here, Brian. It's called the Hillsborough disaster, where the fans had all been put into pens, and an idiot police officer opened up the gates to the outside world so more fans could just push in and push in and push in and push in. And they were crushed, and it was... That's what Sam was referring to. Sorry, I should have I don't know if I should have pointed that out before or after. Yeah. It's quite funny in places as well, especially what happens to the poor guy who just wants a drink, goes into the pub. Unfortunately, Hunt locked him up a couple of months ago, and he can recognise Hunt. So
that was the one funny part in it.
The poor guy keeps getting lamped. And then bottled.
Do you know who I saw?
Okay, Eddie!
You kind of
tell us what you and Angela think.
Yes, because Angela, again, I'll be watching the next episode after this. Again, Gene Hunt, Annie, and Sam running a pub is just... And Gene's basically drinking his a Manchester City fan having to run a pub that's a Manchester United pub and sing their songs and drink with them. The man is just totally... He's at loggerheads.
Tortured.
Oh yeah, it's like a Motherwell fan having to socialise with Hamilton academical fans. It just doesn't happen. It's got a really strong message. This one, you touched on it, the Hillsborough disaster. Sam, this whole thing is an orchestrated so that Manchester United fans will fight Man City fans. Sam knows where this leads to, at least the path where the barriers are put up. People are putting pens, and there's the Hillsborough is probably the main one that's done, but there's been multiple deaths caused by that whole setup that was done by hooligans that just want to scrap and fight, and it's just it basically ruined football. I don't think it'll ever get over. Its reputation will never be the same, albeit now it seems to be corporate boxes and season tickets that nobody can afford. So it's been taken at the hand of the kind of the working class man and put into the rich. But it's there's lovely moments of humour, and the bit that I found the funniest was Sam notices that the riot squad have got no equipment. They're not wearing any armour, and then next thing he's took into a van. And Gene just says, right, everybody, tool up. And everybody's bringing out baseball bats, hammers, and Sam's like, what have you got? And he's got nothing. He's got absolutely nothing. It's just delightful little bits of humour. Gene getting drunk with the Man U fans. It's a roller coaster ride. 1 minute you're laughing, and next minute it brings you all back down there. And at the end, where Sam sees himself with his father, which potentially be the last football match that he get taken to as a kid. It's just perfect TV. And I can't wait to watch episode 6 after this.
Fair enough. Dominic?
Oh, I really like this episode. I mean, thing I noticed as well, I loved the dynamic that Sam had with the deceased son.
Mm-hmm.
It was really just... You could tell that Sam saw himself in this kid, and he was trying to make sure he didn't go down the same way. It was just... He was taking that kind of older brothery responsibility.
Yes.
And I thought that was just really, really sweet in a way, because all the way through, Sam's sense of humanity has been really transcending the rest of them on the police force. Again, as everyone says, Hillsborough disaster being the massive focal point in terms of the like reference point for this. I really like the strong message that it had at the end. How like the fighting is just it's stupid, it's pointless, it's ridiculous. Especially over football, it ruins football. And the way that Pete was trying to justify this, saying like a good kicking is part of the game. Well, no, it doesn't have to be. It's just absolutely an abhorrent way to view what is essentially just sport. But yeah, in terms of Gene as well, it was fun to watch. I particularly liked the bit where he was putting on a very good impression of being drunk. And to the point where Richard just confuses Sam to the point it drags him out, and then he just suddenly squares up and goes full on Uncle Phil. And it's just really... It was fun to watch, but at the same time, it was a gut punch in several different ways, because ultimately that kid lost his dad because of a football match. And how pathetic is that a way to just... a reason for that, for someone to be killed, even if it was an accident, as they say. But yeah, it's just... it was a tragedy. Very sad. It was bittersweet, for sure.
Totally agree.
And it still happens. I mean, Brig Lover makes a good point. So in Scotland, if Celtic are playing Rangers, are your animals having digestive issues?
Something keeps making a noise. I don't know if it's me or if it's somebody's phone or what.
I think it was... I had a messenger notification, so I just switched my phone to silence. I think that's what it was.
I'm sorry, but fart jokes are the funniest. They really are. If you want to crack
We're keeping
me up,
that
just
bar
go
exactly
down
where it is,
yeah,
aren't we?
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Close to the ground.
Dear, oh dear.
Scotland, Celtic Rangers matches. Even now, I mean, I don't stay in Glasgow, but if Celtic and Rangers are playing in a derby match and it's a Sunday or a Saturday, the pubs close to avoid people fighting.
You've also got the sectarian
over a football
side of it with them. Catholics
But again,
versus Protestants.
it's just generated by a football match for sectarian violence. So it's...
I have absolutely no time for professional football.
Me neither. That's why I support Motherwell.
I think it is a disgraceful use of so much money. I really do. Don't have a problem with people playing the game football, but when you're throwing around millions and millions of pounds, how can one person be worth that, really?
Dozens of millions.
Just for kicking a bladder on a field. I'm sorry,
See
it's
Rick
morally
Love on the chat.
reprehensible.
That's why I don't like professional sports.
Yes,
over here.
I did £3,200 for a Manchester United season ticket.
£950 for the cheap seats. That's ridiculous.
It's nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, you've basically in London. There are massive policing operations to keep the two lots of supporters separated, because there's quite a few football grounds in London, and roads are closed and fans are sort of funneled down one road whilst another lot of fans are funneled down another road, and to keep them separate. How can that be right? You know, that's how did we end up going on about football?
Well, it's a big theme.
Life on Mars.
Yeah,
Life on Mars, but
that was a good one. Now we got to turn to Brian.
Oh, fun.
Brian, who's test card girl?
Death.
Still say death, do you?
I'm still saying death.
Right, okay. What's happening with the red dress and the trees that he keeps seeing?
No.
Is he mad? Has he gone back in time, or is he in a coma?
He's in a coma.
You sure?
I'm still saying somewhere in time is a valid theory for this.
Somewhere in time.
Somewhere in time. The Christopher Reeve, Jane Seymour movie.
Right, I do not know it. I'm probably not going to.
We really have to get you to watch that.
No. Tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow, BBC Two. In the afternoon, Powell and Pressburger's A Matter of Life and Death. Set your DVD recorders for that one. Or your TiVos or whatever. One hell of a film. Hey, that was a proper recommendation. That was good. All right then. So, did you enjoy it this time, Brian?
No. I'm sorry.
I thought you'd say that because the whole thing around football and it's just.
I don't mind the whole football aspect of it. It's just the show in general. It's just not hitting and ticking any of the buttons.
Gene
on
Hunt
my,
running a fucking
checklist.
pub. That is not making you piss yourself laughing.
No. No.
You
Sorry.
degenerate colonial git.
I know. The thing I did like was at the end where he did see.
Oh,
his
you
younger
like the
self.
end. Good.
Yeah. with his younger self with his dad walking away and just that look on his face as he tried to catch a look of his dad. Just to remember or reenact that moment.
All right, next week is episode 5 of 8 for this series. No, I haven't read the thingy for it,
No,
so I have no
6.
idea.
This was 5.
Yes, you're right. I apologise. So 6. So we got 3 left. And then I'm afraid we are going on to season 2. Sorry, love. And then Ashes to Ashes.
I have tomorrow, people. I'm happy.
Yes, we need to start looking. That's something we're going to do. We shall talk about this afterwards.
You have the links. I put them up there.
I wasn't going to talk about it on the show in front of everyone.
Link sausages, yeah, they're in the post, Brian.
Yes,
Thank you
I
very
have
much.
the link
Really
up.
appreciated.
It
Yes.
worked really good with pineapple.
Yeah.
You're becoming obsessed. That's
Yes.
all I'm saying. We've seen
I'm
it
gonna
before
put
with the
pineapple.
Transformers. Now there's a pineapple shape to it.
There's going to be... Everything is gone pineapple.
Oh, very dear. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to do specific Tomorrow People stories. Ones... And the reason I'm saying this is they're ones that sort of stuck with me. Because I watched the Tomorrow People growing up. When it was on ITV. I adored the Tomorrow People. I really, really did. Yeah, that's what we're thinking as well, Radox. So we'll start off with the Slaves of Jedekiah, which is the first one.
The intro. Yeah. The first one.
We'll look at that, and we'll look at it for next week, as well as the Horns of Nymon and episode 6 of Life on Mars. If we get a big finish and you guys have the time, we'll look at that. But currently I don't know what's due out, so... Dominic, don't worry, we will sort you. Fear not.
Okie dokie. Hooray!
Look at them all. They're making notes. Oh, my boys are so well behaved. I don't
It's
make
just
notes.
if I don't
just
write
make
it
it
down, I
up as I
forget.
go along. It's... What do we...
Hey, I thought you were going to choose the Tomorrow People with the devil drum. The devil's drum.
The
That
Hearts
was
of
a good one.
Soggoth.
Yes.
I remember watching that
was
one
a
growing up.
great one
No, I'm
to
not going
watch.
to. I'm not going to choose that one. It's going to be a couple from the first series.
No, but as a kid watching that, oh my god, I was terrified.
We're going to do a couple from the first series, Slaves of Jedekiah, and I think the Spydron Menace. I can't remember. It's got Kevin Stoney.
Oh, is that the Dalek knockoff?
No. We'll be coming to them. Then we'll be looking at the Blue and the Green.
Of course.
No,
The red and the pink?
Yes.
just the blue. Well, yes.
The black and the not quite so black.
Thank you.
No problem.
We'll be looking at the Return of Jedekiah.
Jedekiah comes back a lot.
And he comes back a couple of times.
we-
No, sorry, it's the Revenge of Jedekiah,
gonna do
which really stuck with me as a child. I want the music.
That's really
they
dark
used in that.
ending, isn't it? No,
It
that's
is.
Really...
It's a very dark ending.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we have to
Then
do
we'll
the
be
time
looking.
travel.
Sorry?
The time travel one where they go back to Rome.
No, we won't. No. We're going to look at
Sorry,
The
Sean.
dirtiest-
I'm not doing the Roman one.
The Dirtiest Game, which is a good two-parter. And then we're going to skip right ahead to the very, very last Tomorrow People story on the
Do
original
the
run.
living skin.
With the we're not going to do the bubble skin jumpsuits. No. The ones with were they Gorgons? What were they? Fuck, were they called? They looked like walking pleasure aids, and they were voiced
Yes.
by Roy Skelton.
Can I ask 2 questions? Was there one I've got a vague recollection of where there's a transit van in space?
That does sound like the Tomorrow People, or the Goodies, one or the other.
And was there one with Peter Davison wearing next to nothing?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, we
We're
have
not
to do that.
doing that.
Right. I thought it was a fever dream.
We are not doing A Boy for Emily. Oh God, I've got the DVD box set, and the commentary on it is hilarious because they get Davison in for it, along with the usuals, Nicholas Young and Michael Holloway,
Which
or whatever.
one? Yes, Radux, I have at least. It was on the CW over here.
I
CW,
saw a
yeah.
couple of episodes of it. Then the 90s remake I saw a few episodes of. But this is
CW one was trying too hard and moving too fast. It had a pacing issue.
this the 70 Story People is threaded through my veins like Doctor Who is. So I am probably not going to be the most objective reviewer.
Which one had the whole pyramids thing? With the Anubis people? You know what I'm talking
Not the
about?
New Gods.
The Lost Gods?
Lost Gods.
Was that it?
Yes, that could have been it.
It could have been it. We're not doing Hitler's Last Secret, right? That's
No.
right out.
No, that is right out. That was for its time. I mean, there were kids walking around in Nazi uniforms.
It fit with the whole time period that it was created
But
in.
it was just horrible.
It was rough.
Okay, right. So there's that. So I got the Tomorrow People next week. That's good. I'm looking forward to this. By the way, boys and girls, do not watch the title sequence if you have epilepsy, motion sickness, any good sense at all.
Or have dropped acid.
Yeah, definitely don't drop
Oh,
it
dear.
acid with it. Seriously.
Psychedelic.
And it's got a theme tune by Dudley Simpson, and that title sequence is one of the classics. It really is.
It came on Nickelodeon in the 80s, right before The Third Eye.
Oh yes, you've told us about this.
Had
Yes.
the whole Children of the Stones and the other stuff under the mountain. And I'm like watching every day, 4:00 tomorrow, people. Third Eye, nothing.
Oh.
8 hours of freaking pinwheel. Then you get the Tomorrow People.
So, there's that. Before we go, however, we have to turn around and say to Brian, what the hell happened in the RPG last night?
It was an introductory filler episode. One of our players
You hadn't made it up, really.
No.
Okay.
One of our players was absent.
Not two were.
Two were.
Yeah.
Two of our players were absent, and in order to get to a particular place, you had to jump through some hoops. You met an old New Warriors villain, and had to have something pointed out because murder hobos.
Yes, that's the point. I've got to take issue with Sinister next week.
And your character's
lost us 10 karma.
degeneration in morals is becoming quite evident.
He lost us 10 karma. I'm sorry, but he did. By not
did.
being here, he lost us 10 karma. And I'd worked really hard on that joke to get that 10 karma. If you want to see it, it's on YouTube. Yeah. So there's that. All right, during the week then. Bad Wolf on Wednesday.
Ooh.
You see, 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Night, Brig Lover. You take care, love.
Have a good night.
Night.
Enjoy your work.
Okay, so Wednesday, 10:30 UK time, 5:30 Eastern, because Brian refuses to walk out of work early.
I try, but they won't let me leave 7 hours early.
It's not good. We're watching, Bad Wolf, which we're quite looking forward to. Dominic, as always, you're welcome to join us if you can. If you can't, don't worry. You had a very good reason not to last week. Saturday.
That excuse always flies with us.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
The Saturday RPG, 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern. And then Sunday night, the Flash and Blade podcast, which will be, as we've discussed, the Horns of Nimel. Oh, God. The Tomorrow People, the Slaves of Jedekiah, the very first episode. And episode 7. No, 6.
6.
6
Yeah.
of Life on Mars. I'm getting confused.
me,
I wish they had individual titles. That's all I'm going to say. So there we go. That's it. Goodbye, basically. Say goodbye, boys.
Farewell.
Goodbye, boys.
Wow. Just wow. Goodbye, everybody. Pray this works. It worked! It worked!
You've got to fight for
Something's
what
going to
you
blow up.
want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.
Goat. Told you.